Hello, I'm Opal Lei, known in real life as Lea Tesoro, author of Love Like Dim Sum. My guest today has several romantic relationships inside Second Life, all at the same time. We'll hear how she juggles all these affairs and her real-life marriage. You'll meet her in just a few moments.
Oh, love, sweet love, in the late nights of the spring, they're so at ease at love's release. Oh, love, it's a beautiful thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to meet an alt of someone who is one of the leaders of a popular community in Second Life. She chose to use an alt in this interview in order to protect the privacy of the people she is involved with. Please welcome Danielle Phelan. Danielle, welcome to the Bamboo Grove.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Danielle, I know you are polyamorous, and we'll talk about those relationships in a little bit. But first, let's talk about you. When did you start in Second Life?
I started in 2007, October of that year. Actually, I played another game that was multiplayer. Didn't involve romantic things, but somehow I got wrapped up in several romantic relationships. The last person that I had a relationship with thought that I would enjoy Second Life as another facet that we could explore in our online relationship. He was only here about 3 months. He wanted to get involved in multi-partner experiences, and that just wasn't something I was interested in. So he left. Then I met several other people, just had like one-night stands. And very shortly after that, I met the guy that I was involved with for 4 years. He actually still is in my life, but not in Second Life anymore. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Are you guys going to stay in, or?
Is it your hubby? Is it your hubby?
Yeah.
I'd love to get his
Yeah.
opinion on this. You know that? You know?
Yeah, I know it won't. Oh, no way. He would never. He would never do that. He's so cool. I mean, he's so cool in every other way. You know what I mean? He would never talk.
Because it would be nice if he would verify what you say, that it's okay with him, you know? Because other people are worried about that.
I know some people that have, their marriages have broke up over Second Life.
I've known that too.
And I'm just, very, very lucky that that he's not like that. He's a really cool guy. And we both, we're both the same like age group, and we both have the same values, and he's just cool about things. I guess we're both open-minded, Every movie that you watch nowadays has some aspect of sexual contact in it. And even like the soap operas and stuff that people watch, it's just a normal part of life. And we grew up in that generation that explored. So there wasn't a lot of stigma to it. And I guess neither of us feel that kind of stigma now. Like, I wouldn't feel bad if he looked like at a Playboy magazine. That wouldn't make me feel guilty or make me angry at him or jealous of the people he's looking at. And he brings his friends at work over to dinner or something like that. If I'm on Second Life, they stand behind me and watch what I'm doing. And they're like, take her shirt off, take her shirt off. It's hilarious. It really is. So we're just open, and we're monogamous to each other now. And in our marriage, we've never strayed from our marriage. He sits like less than a foot from me on the couch while I'm in my little recliner chair, and so we're right together. I never have hidden anything about Second Life from him, and I think that honestly is why he doesn't mind it.
Yes.
If I hid it from him, then he'd be like, well, why is she trying to hide it, and how come she she didn't hide this guy, but now she's hiding this other guy. And yeah, I never have. I've never hidden.
So
Never hidden them.
has he met them? Like, has he interacted with them somehow?
Actually, he watched my early encounters.
Oh,
And I think that's why he felt safe.
okay.
Um, and a couple of the guys that he watched knew that he was watching. And I think they got off on that. I really do. But I feel very natural about it. It does reflect my younger life. I was married very young, and then got a divorce. And in between the time I was married the first time and this marriage, there was probably about 6 years.
Okay.
And the way that my main character is, that's the way that I was. Only this now I don't have to worry about diseases or, you know,
Yes.
wives coming after me or
So how long have you been married?
30 years. Is that cool?
Wow.
Is that
Yeah.
cool?
Yeah. That is awesome. That is awesome. 30 years. So you already feel secure with each other. So it's not like, that he would have reason to doubt you or anything like that. You've already established that trust. So it's very solid.
Right. I think that's, honest to goodness, I think that is three-quarters of why this works for us. I know it doesn't work for everybody else, but I'm really not. I'm not a jealous person, and he's not a jealous person. And I think it's because we're secure with each other. Even with this, even with this,
Yeah.
we're secure. But like I said before, we grew up in a much different day and age, even than now. I think there's a lot of sexual promiscuity now, but I don't think they do it right. I mean, I
Oh,
grew up in the hippie generation, do you know? And
yes.
I think that kids nowadays, they have sex to be possessive. We didn't necessarily do it to make somebody fall in love with us. Our free sex was more an expression of ourselves and learning how to experience our bodies. And maybe that's why I am the way that I am, and it works for me in Second Life, because I can
Yes.
still experience those same feelings without necessarily having real life physical contact. I would consider that adultery in my marriage, but this I
Okay.
don't. So,
How about the emotional connections, though, that you have with your relationships inside Second Life?
oh, you definitely do create emotional relationships with people here, and you care. I mean, I when I tell somebody that I love them, I really mean that. I do. It's not the same type of love that I feel for my husband, but it
Yes.
is strong, strong emotional connection with that person.
And you're fine with that. You don't consider that as emotional cheating, for example.
Well, the fact that my Second Life characters have more than one relationship, I would have to say, no, I guess I don't feel that way.
Okay.
Because I feel like each one is separate. I feel like not just even the characters are separate. I feel like each relationship is separate. And I'm
Yes.
not partnered here anymore. I feel like
Yes.
if I made a step, then it would be, okay, then you're exclusive to this person or that person. I don't want to make that step because I enjoy what I'm doing.
And your husband is okay with all this, even with the emotional attachments.
Yes. And well, and the main thing for us and what works for my husband and I is that I never cross over real life to Second Life. I don't share my name. I don't share where I live. I don't meet people in real life that I know from Second Life. Second Life is a fantasy to me. I'm what I term an empath. I feel what other people feel, and I tie emotionally to that really very quickly. I feel people's pain, I feel their joy, I feel their passion, and because of that, I can't carry baggage with me too long. I know that may sound very cruel and cold, and I don't mean it like that, but I don't do drama and I don't
Yes.
do, too much emotional baggage. Of course, while I'm with somebody, that's what I want. That moment right there. It's the instant gratification, I guess.
So right now you have the one that's been with you for 4 years. Tell me about the other ones.
Actually, now I've gone back to the original game that I was telling you about earlier with him. It's a war game, so he's still in my life and we're still connected, but it is not a romantic situation there at all.
Okay.
It's war,
Okay.
it's killing things. So, but now I have several people that I see, and one is a very platonic relationship. It's dancing and some kissing and maybe some cuddling, but nothing further than that. But the person is just very dear to me. I truly love this person as a person.
Yes.
He's also married in real life, and he feels that if our relationship went further, that it would be, against his marriage, and so that's why we stay where we are. I have
Okay.
other relationships with some people that are, how shall I say this, interesting developments.
Okay.
They're romantic, but they're not sexual in nature, but they're suggestive and
Yes.
fairly new and early in the stage of involvement or whatever. And I have another relationship that is extremely casual and it's purely sexual, but it's somebody that I've known for a long time. Then I have a relationship that is active sexual.
What would you say are the gotchas or the difficulties or the lessons from having multiple concurrent relationships?
I really hurt somebody bad one time, and I had a long-term relationship. He caught me with somebody else, but I know that he is not the same person anymore, and he says that he forgives me, but it actually put him into a real-life clinical depression. He was
Oh,
hospitalized, and so you carry a lot of guilt, when somebody puts that much into the relationship. I still do about that relationship. It hurts me, I'm sure, not as much as him, but I'm destroyed over the fact that I hurt somebody that bad. And
ah,
that's why I'll never partner or get that involved. I still feel guilty. And the relationship has been broken up probably almost a year now. So I've carried this for almost a year. And I have talked to him since then several times. About every 3 months, he contacts me, and yeah, I don't even know what to say to him anymore. I don't know what to say except that I was the one that was at fault, and that I'm sorry. And it's still hard. It still hurts.
understood. On the other hand, what would you say are the benefits for having a polyamorous lifestyle?
Well, for the benefits for me, I mean, this is very selfish because for me, it's purely emotional. It makes you feel good about yourself. You're stimulated. You're creative. I love to have a sexual relationship in the morning before I go to work, and my day is wonderful the whole day. For me, I just love to be able to express myself like that, like I did when I was younger. I'm, probably double the age of what I'm talking about. I don't mind telling you, I'm 56, and I don't look like I did when I was 26, and I wish I did.
Well, that brings up another question, though. So, are these lovers about the same age, or are they younger or older, or
I don't really have that need to know. It's more in how they act. You can tell sometimes if somebody's mature, and I won't. I just will not be with an immature person. Maybe because of my age, or maybe just because I wouldn't do that in real life. I don't do that here either. But most of them are closer to my age, or at least over 40.
well, Thanks very much for joining me, Danielle. Do you still would like to add anything? Is there anything else you'd like
Yes,
to
I would.
share? Oh, please
I
go ahead.
would. And that is in another relationship that I had, and that was the 4-year relationship. A picture was sent to my partner of me dancing with somebody else, and it really hurt my partner's feelings. And I just want to say that what I do in Second Life is nobody else's business but my own, and the people that choose to be involved with me or that I choose to be involved with. I don't know why people think that that's important, the do-gooders or whatever they want to call themselves. But I just have one word I'd like to say to them, and that is go stuff it and get a life. I'm serious. I am like so serious. Like, stay out of my second life. I already live around people like you in real life, and I don't need you in my second life. So get out. And, if you don't like what's happening in Second Life, get out of Second Life. This is fantasy. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, after the break, Harper Beresford will give you tips about how to reach out to designers when you need to communicate with them. And I'll give you a brief overview of what's coming up in the next episode.
Oh, love, sweet love, in the late nights of the spring, there's so at ease at love's release. Oh, love, it's a beautiful thing.
Hi, welcome to Harper's Fashion Tips for the Fashion Savvy. Today I want to talk about getting what you want, specifically from creators. People always wonder why I'm friends with creators, why I can get stuff from my blog, and why I get along so well with creators. That's because I use these tips. One of the biggest complaints I hear in SL is that people are not happy with the service they've received from a creator. The first thing to remember in SL is that what you should remember in real life. Communication is key. You're opening the line of communication with them, and if they can't hear you, you're not going to get what you want. If you find you need to contact a creator in SL, be prepared to do a little work. First, check their profile in SL and read their policies and their pics. Sometimes those policies will be very specific about how they like to receive communications. Make sure you communicate to them in the manner in which they prefer, because that's where they'll be looking for your message. The second thing to remember is that their problem may really be your problem. Make sure they don't have to solve your technical difficulties for you, and read the note cards they enclose before contacting them. Finally, remember you get more bees with honey than vinegar. A bad attitude is not going to get you very far with a creator, because they're human too. Let's face it, they hold the cards for what you want, regardless of your status as a customer. Climbing up in their virtual face won't get you very far. Send them a polite note explaining exactly what happened, what you hope will happen as a result of their intervention, and any accompanying evidence like photos or transaction history. Send to them via the means they request and follow up in a couple days if you've not heard from them. And don't get angry if you haven't. some people don't log in every day, and some creators play on alts rather than logging on to their business avatars. Most important, remember you can't get anything if you don't ask, and ask nicely. For more tips, visit my blog at slfashionpassion.wordpress.com, and maybe you can get close to those creators too.
In the next episode, I'll be chatting with a very interesting man who has his own list of lessons learned in Second Life. In fact, he provided a great quote about trust for my book. So join me back here in the Bamboo Garden to talk like dim sum. Thanks for watching.
Oh love, sweet love, when they finally start to sing and your life feels right and you're filled with pride. Oh love, it's a beautiful thing. Making eyes at the pretty little girl in the backyard of his friend.